Hi folks, Real 111T here. This is a re-recording of a video that I made a couple days ago, but then when I realized I had uploaded it, I had it kind of cut off. So I decided to just kind of record it again. Basically what we're talking about here is a good common man kind of emergency bug out, bushcraft, bug in cooking system. The idea behind this, or the philosophy of use, would be a kit that you could put together and then stow away in your gear and forget about. You could keep it in your car, you could keep it in your bug out bag ready to go. It wouldn't be your mainline camping gear, and it would have a lot of good uses, both as a kit with a stove assembled, and then just the cook kit itself would have utility when you ran out of fuel. Okay, so basically what it's based on is the MSR Seagull. Let me see if I can come in here, and MSR Seagull stowaway pot. Okay, this is the 1.6 liter. This is the largest one. They come in a variety of different sizes. And then inside this, what I have is a Liberty Mountain Trangia setup. Liberty Mountain is the pot support, Liberty Mountain Westwind it's called. And then the burner is a Trangia burner. So let me get this all assembled and we'll go into it again. Okay, so here we are. The kit is all out and assembled here. Alright, we got our MSR stowaway pot, which is made out of stainless steel. A nice little lid. This one is brand new. I've got several of these that I've been using in my bug out bags. Wish I'd noticed this dent. It's one of those things when you buy something brand new. Anyway, it's high quality stainless steel. It's relatively cheap. I think this one was $25, and I cash and carried it from a local sporting goods store, so I didn't have to pay any shipping, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of the commercial cook kits. If you want to buy a stainless steel name brand cook kit, this brand in particular, you're going to be spending quite a bit of money. Okay, $50 at least. And what we're saying is you get just about this whole thing for that amount of money. Okay, so set this aside for a second. And then take a look at the cooker here. It's your standard Trangia burner, setting in this it's three little pieces of aluminum that are cut a specific way and kind of fit together in kind of a puzzle shape. And then you get your pot supports. Okay, and then around that I have an excess, I'm messing with my auto exposure here, an excess MSR windscreen that I had from a purchase of a replacement pump. Basically the replacement pumps come with the windscreen and the heat reflector. So I had that lying around. If you don't have that lying around, you really should have a windscreen with this. I don't know if I would buy the MSR one. If you buy it on its own, it's like $15, which is kind of pricey. You could make one out of a turkey pan, those roasting pans at the supermarket. It's similar material, but you have to watch out because you get sharp edges on those, and they've gone through the MSR ones, and they fold them over pretty neatly on the edges, so you don't have any sharp edges. Okay, now another word about this is if you look around YouTube, you see some people who have been running this in a different configuration. Okay, basically they say that the distance between the top of the burner and the pot supports is wrong, and that's, anyone who knows anything about alcohol stoves knows that distance, it varies with every single design, but the distance between the top of the burner and the bottom of the pot is sort of a critical kind of a distance for stove efficiency. And basically what they suggested to do is something like this, where basically you just assemble it upside down, and supposedly it works a lot better. I haven't actually tried it, but if you end up getting this, I will tell you that in the regular configuration like this, in the regular setup like that. It does work. You know, I have used it. And of course, you get the complete setup here for about 20 bucks, and that includes a simmer ring, which is a great add-on to any alcohol stove. You know, a lot of the homemade designs don't have any method to basically throttle the stove back once you get your noodles boiling or whatever. You know, you want to boil them for 5 or 10 minutes, and there's no way to do that basically, other than maybe lifting the pot off and putting it back on, and that's kind of a waste and kind of labor intensive. But you know, I've made brown rice over a Trangia, you know, and that's something where you gotta like get it boiling and then let it simmer for like a half an hour, you know, and you can do it, okay, but the simmering is kind of a very necessary accessory to do stuff like that. Now, this whole setup, you know, if you figure that this is about $20, $25, and you don't have to go with the biggest one. You could go with the next size down for this setup, I'm sure. And then you get this set for about $20, you know, so you're about $40. If you can find a windscreen, there are other companies now that you can find on the web that are selling them. Camp Saver sells them, Camp More sells them. It's just another company that's just selling windscreens for alcohol stoves. And they're a lot more reasonable. They're less than $10 for a windscreen. So, I mean, $50 to $55, you know, for all the components. And then, you know, that's great because, you know, if you're going to go out and get like an MSR type stove, you know, or an Optimus or something like that, you're looking at $150 for the stove, and then whatever you want to spend on the cook set, you know. You get a standard camping cook set like this, MSR Blacklight. It's not as nice for a bug out situation. It's made out of aluminum. It's lightweight, but it is not really durable. It's got non-stick coating, not really great for being used over a campfire, really designed to be used over a stove. This, you know, may be a little bit harder to clean, but you can clean it hard, okay, if you follow that logic. This one you have to be gentle with, you know, you have to use the green scrubbies on it. You can't like just grab pine cones and pebbles and sand and jam it around in there and expect the coating to stay intact. This, whatever you need to do to get it clean, you can do that. And, you know, over an open fire, you know, that's why stainless steel, I think, is really my pick, okay? Or heavy-duty aluminum, let me put it that way, for this sort of thing. It makes it sort of ideal. And this sort of a kit. You know, I've recommended various different things. The original thing I recommended for this philosophy of use, you know, and also cost. You want the cost to be reasonable too. This is probably the best. The old Swedish military set, which is legendary now, you know. But you know, the reason that I recommended it is because it's a good kit. And this one's even the aluminum one. The stainless steel one is really the holy grail one, but I got those packed away in different various kits. Because it was really cheap. I mean, you be angry with me, guys, but when I bought these, they were 4 for $21 from Sportsman's Guide. And you got 4 extra windscreens, 4 extra burners, and 4 extra fuel bottles. Okay? Because they were just basically, they bought a huge lot of these things and they found they had more of those than the actual cook sets, and that's how they were selling them off to clear space in the warehouse. You know, now if you're lucky, you find one of these for $50 used on eBay. You know, and all those ones that I was getting were in unissued condition. They were old, but they were unissued. You know, so this one, I don't even think this one's been used yet. You can see the sticker, okay, but you know, I've gotten a lot of great use out of these over the years, but now they're ridiculously priced if you find them on eBay, so I don't recommend them anymore, you know. So that's a lesson about the Euro surplus is a lot of times when the big surplus outlets are selling stuff off, they have no idea what it's worth. It's just basically what they paid for it plus a markup, okay? So if you see something that looks like it might be interesting, my urge to you is to snap it up. Because I gave a bunch of these away, you know, and then I kept a few of them for myself. I kept a few of the stainless ones. I kept a few of the aluminum ones. This is the one I have here to show. After that, I went over to this lead mark set. Now this is aluminum, which makes it less ideal, but I have several kits that I pack these away in, okay, because, you know, I realized that this was a knockoff on a really good design, and the construction wasn't horrible. It's not as good as the original Swedish construction, but this was a complete cook set that you could buy for $18 and then mod up with a Trangia burner and a new strap, you know, for another $20, and there you were, right around $40 with a complete set for your kit. So this kit is more expensive, but you get the stainless steel, okay? And the advantage is this kit is still available. The lead mark kit and the Swedish Trangia, no longer available. You can't get them anymore, okay? This one because the surplus supply dried up just as they were getting really super popular, and this one because, you know, that's the nature of no-name knockoffs, is that, you know, they come on the scene anonymously and then they just die an anonymous death, you know, when the sales aren't up or the company, the importer, decides to just go another way. You can't find them anymore, okay? You could find something, you know, I do have a current source for these Meta 50s, which is a very similar kit, but it utilizes a Swedish Trangia burner, and it relies on you having some extra Swedish Trangia, military Trangia burners lying around. Back to this guy. Remember when I got all those extra Trangia burners? Boom. So I ordered a few of these to correspond with the leftover Trangia burners, and now I got complete ones of those. But it's not something I can really recommend people to do. So, yeah. The philosophy of use of this kit is going to be a relatively inexpensive kit, not your mainline camping gear. Okay? And it could be your mainline camping gear. Alcohol stoves are good, though, and it's not really difficult to put by a supply of the fuel, which is either the yellow bottle heat or the denatured alcohol in the gallon cans, you know, from Home Depot. I've never had a problem with denatured alcohol. I would say if you're going to buy denatured alcohol for a fuel, buy one that specifically states it's to, one of its on the box uses is to use it as a stove fuel. Okay? So I've never had a problem with the SLX denatured alcohol. You know, there are certain other people on the internet that really recommend sticking with the straight methanol. There is going to be more heat potential in something that has more ethanol in it. Ethanol has more heat in it. It's confusing. Ethanol has more heat than heat. The yellow bottle methanol heat, if you look at the MSDS sheet for it, lists its ingredients as 99% methanol, 1% proprietary ingredient, which basically means it's methanol. Okay, and those are great because those bottles are pretty robust. And if you're going to put this in a kit and in a bag or in a case somewhere, a grab and go case, it's already all packaged down and it's already in a container. So that's really convenient, and I like to use that for that. In a bug-in situation, if you want to build up a capability to be able to use a stove for a week or 2 weeks, you know, the gallon cans make more sense. Okay, if you've got Trangia fuel, if you're going to be using it for camping on a regular basis, the Trangia fuel bottles, pick one of those up. You know, and they come in a couple of different sizes. They're great. They're pretty robust. I wouldn't want to buy those for all my kits, though. I just stick with the heat bottles. You know, if I was going to use it for camping gear, though, I would definitely recommend going with the proper Trangia fuel bottle. You know, there's other companies that are making fuel bottles out there that you can buy that might work for you. A lot of them, I've seen ones that are based on like the auto shop things, or you know what it is? It's the oil mixers for chainsaws. I've seen bottles like that that allow you to like kind of meter out a little bit of fuel into a separate little reservoir and then dump that into your stove. That's good, but it's not really necessary with a Trangia burner. That's because, you know, on a lot of the homemade DIY ones like this, you know, once you pour the fuel in there, you're burning it or it's evaporating. There's really no good way to pour it out of here back into your fuel container. So you don't want to waste fuel, so you want to meter out exactly what you need. The big advantage of a Trangia burner is that you don't have to do that nonsense anymore. You just ignore it. You basically fill the thing up before you're about to use it for as long as you want to use it, and then snuff it out, and then put the cap on it. The cap's got no ring seal in it, as you can see right here. And you just put that away. I don't typically, when it's got fuel in it, store it inside the cook kit. But it stores pretty well, and you'll be able to utilize the fuel at a later time. And that right there is almost worth the price of admission. I don't know about flipping the pot supports over, experiment around with that, obviously. If you're going to be using it outside, gotta have a windscreen. If you just want something for bug in, you can just use this by itself, and then that lessens the cost of your kit. Okay, but this is pretty compact. It's not really lightweight compared to lightweight kits or minimalist kits. Okay, but it's got a good capability there, and this will allow you to boil water to prepare if you've got freeze-dried food put into your kits, or if you're just interested in making some hot drinks or some oatmeal, or if you're interested in boiling water that might be bacteriologically, biologically suspect, but you're fairly certain it's not contaminated with chemicals. If you think there might be chemicals in the water, I wouldn't recommend going getting river water, any river water with this, and boiling it up and saying this is safe to drink. It'll definitely be biologically safe to drink, but who knows what else is in there. Pollution, runoff from farms, all kinds of stuff. But if you find some water in a stream up on a hill in the woods, you're probably okay. Boil it, and we're talking about surface water here. So a lot of spring water you don't need to do anything with, but surface water, if you don't have a filter, you boil it, you're pretty sure that you're good to go. So that's a good capability to have in a bug out bag, in a bushcraft kind of a survival kit. This would be something that would be more of a pack, as opposed to like a minimalist kit that's based on off a canteen. This is a little bit of a step up from that. Okay, if you've got like a full-on bug out bag, this is something that would be good inside that, and it's definitely my current recommendation for what to put together. And I hope you enjoyed that, and hope you understand what the philosophy of use is. Talk to you later, guys.